Can humans transcend the limits of the physical world, connect with invisible energy, and understand the profound secrets of the universe through quantum entanglement? Let us explore the highest realm, where energy, quantum entanglement, and the universe not only intersect but also merge, unlocking possibilities beyond our comprehension. 1. The highest state of humanity is unity with the universe, cosmic harmony theory. There is a great truth, often forgotten: humans are not separate from the universe, we are an inseparable part of it. When we realize this not just with our intellect but with our entire existence, we enter another realm, where the ego dissolves in the vast light of the universe, where life is no longer personal but a continuation of an eternal rhythm. Unity goes beyond personal enlightenment. On the journey of spiritual and intellectual development, there are many levels of awareness that a person can experience. From survival instincts to self-awareness, to spiritual awakening. However, the pinnacle of this entire process is not merely personal enlightenment, not simply understanding oneself or escaping suffering, but becoming one with the totality of the universe. At this level, the boundary between subject and object no longer exists. There is no distinction between I and the world, between person and object, between the individual and the collective. Instead, there is a profound state of unity, where the mind opens like the sky, no longer bound by concepts, prejudices, or desires. In this state, one does not need to hold on to anything, for everything is already present. There is no concept of possession, success or failure, gain or loss. Only pure and authentic presence remains. This state cannot be attained through logic or ordinary knowledge. It cannot be forced by discipline or rigid adherence. It is the result of a gradual process of letting go, where the personal ego dissolves, like a drop of water merging with the ocean. A person who reaches this state no longer lives for themselves but as a subtle manifestation of the universe experiencing itself through human form. Humans, stardust that knows how to think. One of the most marvelous discoveries of modern science is the truth that humans are composed of elements formed in the cores of dead stars. The atoms in our bones, skin, blood, and breath did not originate from Earth, but from supernova explosions billions of years ago. In other words, we are the culmination of grand astronomical processes, stardust taking the shape of humans. It is truly miraculous to realize that the atoms in your heart may have once belonged to a star on the edge of the Milky Way, or were once part of the primordial ocean on a distant planet. This makes the concept of individuality seem faint. We are not separate entities, but a fleeting manifestation of an ongoing process, where the universe experiences itself through countless forms of life. This unity is not just a poetic metaphor, but a scientific truth. When we breathe, we exchange molecules with the trees and the atmosphere. When we eat, we absorb energy from sunlight through plants and animals. When we touch an object, the particles beneath our skin interact with the particles of that object in a quantum dance, with no distinct boundaries. Our existence is a flow, constantly moving, blending with the flow of the universe. Time, space, and liberation from dualism. One of the most notable features of the state of unity is the complete change in how a person perceives time and space. Instead of seeing time as a linear path with a beginning and an end, the person who attains the state of unity will experience time as a circle, with no starting point, no ending point, only continuous rotation. The past, present, and future merge into the eternal present. Similarly, space is no longer something separate between people and the world. Space becomes a part of consciousness. When deeply immersed in meditation or profound spiritual experience, many describe the sensation of the body dissolving and physical limits fading, only to experience themselves as an energy field enveloping all things. In that moment, there is no distance, no separation. Everything becomes one, and one is all. Liberation from dualism is a major turning point. Dualism creates division between right and wrong, good and bad, us and them, the sacred and the mundane. But at the level of unity, all of those opposites vanish. One no longer has to choose sides, no longer has to judge. Instead, there is total acceptance, understanding that all are necessary for the perfect operation of the universe. Every light needs darkness to shine, every joy needs sorrow to become profound. Harmony with nature, living as part of the flow. A person who reaches the state of unity does not live against nature, but lives with it. There is no ego urging them to conquer, control, or win. They choose to live like water, flexible, adaptable, and humble. They no longer try to change the world according to their own will, but allow the world to change them in the most subtle way. Nature is the great teacher of harmony. Every ecosystem functions based on the principle of balance and cooperation. Trees do not compete, rivers do not coerce, clouds do not limit. Humans are truly happy when they live in alignment with their natural essence, as an inseparable part of the whole. A person living in unity understands this. They respect the cycles of life and death, understanding that death is not an end but a part of the great cycle. They do not cling to youth, wealth, or fame, for they know that everything is temporary. But it is within this temporality that they find eternal beauty. The deep state of awareness, cosmic consciousness within humans. The state of unity is not an obscure, metaphysical state that cannot be perceived. On the contrary, it is a deep awakening in every breath. A person who reaches this state does not need to escape from ordinary life but lives fully within it, yet with a completely different perspective. They can wash dishes, walk, talk, or work, but within them is complete presence. There is no hurry, no resistance. Every action becomes a ritual, every moment becomes sacred. They see the universe in every leaf, every drop of rain, every glance. Cosmic consciousness within humans is not something distant, but always present in each of us. The only thing preventing us from reaching it is the layer of ego, the labels, perspectives, prejudices, and fears. When that layer falls away, like a petal falling in the wind, our true self reveals itself, vast, eternal, indivisible. Universal love and profound compassion. A clear manifestation of unity with the universe is unconditional love for all beings. This is not romantic love or love based on ownership, but a natural flow of compassion, like sunlight shining everywhere without discrimination. A person in the state of unity sees themselves in everyone. They understand that the suffering of others is their own suffering. Healing cannot be separated, for all are part of a shared web of life. They do not love because they seek reciprocity, but because they cannot help but love. This universal love is also the bridge between science and spirituality. While science explores synchronous phenomena, connections, and energy resonance between individuals, spirituality has long spoken of the invisible communication between all living beings. Love, in both languages, is the fundamental force binding the universe. Conclusion: the return to ourselves. The highest state of humanity is not something new to attain, but the primal state we once had, before being covered by the dust of society, fear, and the ego. When we clear away these layers, we return to ourselves, to the universe, to all. The journey of unity is the journey of returning. We do not go far to search, but turn inward to discover. Each step along this journey is a step away from division and towards wholeness. We do not need to become someone else, we only need to be ourselves in the truest form, for that form is a star burning brightly in the infinite sky. 2. The highest realm of humanity and quantum entanglement, non-locality and connection beyond space. We often think of ourselves as separate, isolated individuals in a vast world, but the most curious revelation of modern science points to the opposite. All of us may be connected at a deeper level than any physical form previously known. In that space, the highest realm of humanity is no longer bound by the limitations of space, time, or ego, but becomes an inseparable part of an invisible network known to quantum mechanics as quantum entanglement. Beyond the dualistic boundaries, from I and other to the whole. One of the greatest limitations of human perception is duality. Throughout history, we have become accustomed to viewing the world through a lens of distinction, I and the other, inside and outside, right and wrong, subject and object. Duality helps us define the world, but it also traps us in fragmentation and alienation. The highest realm of humanity is when that lens is removed. No longer is there separation, only a comprehensive sense of interconnectedness. Every being, every object, and every phenomenon becomes transparent to one another, not in form, but in essence. We no longer live solely for ourselves, but perceive all life beating in rhythm with ours. This state is not an abstract ideal. It can be truly felt, as when someone suddenly feels the pain of another, or when an intense feeling about something happening far away moves us inexplicably. These moments are signs of a consciousness that transcends duality, where we begin to feel not only ourselves, but the network of which we are a part. Quantum mechanics and the phenomenon of entanglement, when two are one. In the microscopic world, where elementary particles operate according to rules different from classical physics, there is a phenomenon that has baffled scientists for centuries: quantum entanglement. When two particles become entangled, it means that the state of one particle will instantly affect the other, regardless of the distance between them, which could span thousands or millions of kilometers. Non-locality, the concept that the state of one particle cannot be independently determined but always depends on the state of the other, has shaken all definitions of separateness and locality of matter. Einstein famously called it spooky action at a distance, because it defied intuition and broke the speed of light limit. But this very phenomenon opens up a completely new way of viewing reality, that separateness is an illusion. That everything can be connected at a fundamental level, transcending conventional physical boundaries. And astonishingly, what quantum physics describes aligns eerily with what ancient spiritual traditions have spoken about: a universal consciousness, a unity between all beings. Quantum entanglement as a metaphor for spiritual connection. When a mother feels her child in danger on the other side of the world, or when two close friends think of each other at the same time without contact, could this be mere coincidence, or is something deeper at play? Many modern thinkers argue that phenomena like intuition, gut feelings, or deep empathy between people may be expressions of quantum entanglement in the field of consciousness. Deepak Chopra calls this cosmic intelligence within each person, connecting us to everything beyond reason. Rupert Sheldrake developed the concept of morphic fields, a form of organizing energy that transcends space, storing the memories and experiences of humanity. These ideas, though still debated in mainstream science, resonate deeply because they touch upon something we have all felt: the invisible connection between people, between minds, between all life. In this context, quantum entanglement is no longer a cold physical phenomenon, but a vivid metaphor for the highest spiritual state of humanity, where all boundaries of space and time dissolve, and we become a part of the greater whole. Universal consciousness, a state of unity beyond personal perception. When one particle in an entangled system changes, the other will change immediately, as if both are not two separate entities but one entity existing in two places. The highest spiritual realm of humanity mirrors this. When consciousness transcends the personal ego, it no longer responds based on individual needs but is attuned to the entire flow of life. This is not indifference or egolessness in a negating sense, but an expansive state where no boundaries remain. We feel the pain of others as our own, the joy of the world as our personal happiness, and we carry out all actions as though the universe is acting through us. Universal consciousness is not a dissolution into an anonymous mass, but an integration within diversity. Just as entangled particles do not need to be close to maintain their connection, consciousness does not require physical presence to communicate. Only awareness is needed. Only the shedding of the ego's shell. Connection beyond space, the foundation for global empathy. In a world filled with division and conflict, the ability to sense a connection beyond space is not just a spiritual ideal but a necessity for survival. When people live in the tangled perception of the ego, they can easily harm others without recognizing the consequences. But when they live with the understanding that every action, no matter how small, impacts the whole, they will act differently. This connection does not only occur in the microscopic world of elementary particles, but spreads through the actions, thoughts, and emotions of each individual. A compassionate thought can alter the energy field around us. A loving action can trigger hundreds of positive ripple effects. And this is not superstition. It is a simple truth, proven by behavioral science, positive psychology, and even cellular biology. When people realize that they are always connected to others, even if unseen, they will no longer feel isolated, nor abandoned in the world. Even in silence, in darkness, we are still connected, just like two entangled particles are never alone. From science to experience, integrating reason and intuition. The progress of quantum physics has opened a door to the integration of reason and intuition, concepts that were once seen as opposites. The highest realm of humanity does not require abandoning science, but rather invites us to delve deeper into the true nature of the world, where science and spirituality meet in a peculiar point, consciousness as the center. The experience of quantum entanglement does not only exist in the laboratory but can be felt through deep awareness. In meditation, in moments of breakthrough creativity, in absolute stillness, many people experience a sense of unity, where time stops, space disappears, and they become one with everything around them. These states cannot be measured by physical tools, but they can be observed through the positive changes in life, peace, gratitude, the ability to forgive, and unconditional love for all. This is a sign of consciousness vibrating in the cosmic network, no longer bound, but infinitely free. Quantum entanglement in culture, art, and symbolic language. Since ancient times, civilizations have tried to express this state of unity through art, poetry, and symbols. The interlocking circles in mandala paintings, the symmetrical patterns in Islamic art, or the harmonic chords in classical music, all are efforts to express an invisible connection. Today, many modern artists are inspired by quantum concepts to create works with spiritual depth. Ideas like non-locality, uncertainty, and entanglement become sources of inspiration for inner journeys, where beauty is no longer in form, but in vibration. Language is the same. In profound philosophies, words are not used to define, but to evoke. Because the quantum entanglement state in spirituality cannot be named, it can only be felt. Therefore, the highest realm is not in words, but between the silences, where language ceases, and life speaks. Conclusion, merging into the quantum field of the universe. The highest realm is not a place we seek to escape life, but a state from which we can live most profoundly within life. It is where each person is no longer an isolated individual, but a delicate link in the invisible energy network, vibrating with the whole. Quantum entanglement, once a strange physical phenomenon, has become a symbol of the deep unity that humanity can attain. It reminds us that, despite differences in form, origin, or perspective, we were once connected, and still are, within a vibrational field that transcends all space, time, and reason. And when we realize this, not just with our minds, but with our hearts, loneliness disappears. Fear also dissolves. Only one awareness remains. We no longer need to go anywhere, for we are already where we need to be, in the very quantum field of the universe, where life and consciousness merge as one. 3. The highest realm and the operation of energy, transformation and internal balance. There is a moment when we sit still, in silence amidst the fast-paced rhythm of life, and suddenly feel everything flowing through us, like an invisible stream of energy, not from the outside, nor contained in any physical form, but the primal life force arising from within. This is the moment we step into another realm, where presence is no longer the body, but the vibrational frequency of our own consciousness. Everything is energy, from the universe to humanity. The foundation of the universe is not solid matter as we once thought, but energy, movement, vibration, and interaction. Discoveries in modern physics have confirmed this seemingly mysterious truth. From subatomic particles to vast galaxies, everything is different forms of energy oscillating in space. Human beings, with our bodies, emotions, and thoughts, are no exception to this law. Each cell is a center of energy, each thought is a vibration emitted within the field of consciousness. When we are angry, the energy field vibrates strongly and erratically. When we love, that energy becomes soft, clear, and radiates. Mood is not just a mental state, but a sign of the energy flow within. The highest realm is not a static state, but a dynamic balance between countless streams of energy, just as the universe operates harmoniously between billions of celestial bodies constantly moving but never colliding. A human being, when reaching this realm, lives as a miniature version of the universe, moving yet still, powerful yet gentle, complex yet unified. Life energy in ancient traditions. Long before modern science discovered the energetic nature of all things, ancient spiritual traditions had known how to sense, nurture, and transform life energy. In yoga, the flow of energy is called prana, the life force flowing through energy channels, nadis, and gathering at energy centers, chakras, each center embodying a distinct quality, from basic survival instincts, emotions, willpower, love, to intuition and unity. Qigong and Eastern internal cultivation practices emphasize the flow of qi, the vital energy connected to breath, movement, and stillness. A practitioner of qi does not only train the body but also the mind to master and direct energy to where it is needed, to heal and enhance internal vitality. In Western spiritual teachings, sacred light, or the spiritual fire, is another manifestation of elevated energy. Where there is light, there is awakening. Where energy rises, there human beings bloom into wisdom. Regardless of the name, these traditions meet at one point. The highest realm is not about accumulating knowledge or power, but mastering the energy within oneself, mastering the body, mind, and presence in each moment. Internal balance, the key to unlocking the true self. In spiritual practice, many fall into extremes. Either trying to control everything, or letting energy run wild, allowing chaos to dominate. But the most subtle point lies in between, inner balance. It is the point where the energy within us is neither repressed nor wasted, but flows freely and naturally, like a stream that never runs dry. Balance does not mean stillness. It is stability in motion, the middle path between two extremes. When we listen to the body, rest when needed, and move appropriately, we are balancing physical energy. When we let go of negative thoughts and focus on goodness, we are re-establishing the balance of mental energy. When we open our hearts to the miraculous, without judgment, we are harmonizing emotional energy. The highest realm is when all these layers of energy harmonize, the body is light, the mind clear, emotions calm, and willpower firm. At that point, a person becomes a free-flowing stream, where universal energy freely enters, transforms, and radiates into the world. Vibrational frequency, the silent language of consciousness. Each person is an energy field, and this field emits a unique frequency. A person filled with love can warm up a room, even without speaking a word. A person full of resentment can make others around them uncomfortable, even in silence. Vibrational frequency cannot be hidden because it is the silent language of consciousness. The highest realm does not require outward display. It manifests in the frequency that one emits. When someone is at peace, loving, and awake, they do not need to speak doctrine, but anyone near them can feel tranquility. They do not need to perform grand actions, yet their influence spreads far like ripples in water. This is not a whimsical ideal. Scientific research shows that the human brain, in deep meditation, emits gamma waves, a type of wave related to empathy, creativity, and higher awareness. The heart, when vibrating with love, harmonizes the entire nervous and immune systems. This energy not only heals the self but also positively affects the surrounding environment. Transformation, going through darkness to become light. No one is born in the highest realm. It is a journey through different layers of energy, from coarse to refined, from dark to light. Just as a seed must decompose before it can sprout, human beings must go through pain, doubt, and injury to discover the light within. Transforming energy is not about eliminating the negative part, but understanding, accepting, and redirecting it. Anger can become a protective strength. Pain can become compassion. Loss can become the foundation for profound awakening. The highest realm is not one without suffering, but one where we know how to walk with suffering without being overwhelmed. It is the ability to stand in the storm without being shaken, to face the darkness without being consumed by it. The energy repressed in the deep layers of the mind, when released properly, becomes fuel for spiritual growth. Creative energy, the gift of unity. Once energy is transformed, a person enters a new state, boundless creativity. No longer controlled by fear or the need for control, they become a channel for universal energy, free, spontaneous, and ever new. Creativity is not just an art form, it is a way of life. A creative person is someone not bound by old habits, always seeing something new in the old, always finding solutions when facing challenges. They do not force themselves to be creative, but simply live in harmony with the frequency, where every action arises from a deep connection between the inner and the outer. The highest realm is where creative energy is no longer hindered by prejudice, fear, or limitations. A person becomes a free-flowing current, no longer distinguishing between doing and being, between creating and living. Every breath, every glance, every step, is an expression of the art of living. Influence on the environment, collective energy field. No one is an island. The energy field of each person affects others, creating a collective energy field for families, communities, and humanity. An awakened individual not only helps themselves, but like a lamp, spreads light to those around them. When many people vibrate at a high frequency, love, gratitude, and compassion, a miraculous phenomenon occurs, resonance. The collective energy field of resonance will raise the frequency of the whole group, causing even negative people to begin to change. Healing is no longer a personal act, but a chain effect, like ripples across the water. Conversely, if the majority of people live in fear, anger, and division, that energy field will pull everything down, weakening life. This is why, in a time of turmoil, the important thing is not to change the world, but to change the frequency one emits. Living as an awakened energy flow. In the highest realm, a person no longer thinks of themselves as a body, identity, or circumstances. They realize they are energy, fluid, free, and limitless. From this realization, they live not in stress, but in the harmonious rhythm of the universe. They do not resist the flow of life, but flow with it, not in surrender, but in harmony. Like a surfer who does not fight the waves but rides with them to rise higher. Every event, every joy or sorrow, is a wave, and when the mind is steady, they know how to use it all to lift themselves. This realm is not a destination, but a state of living. Every day is a journey of adjusting energy, through eating, resting, meditating, loving, and creating. When we live this way, we no longer seek externally, because we have already found the treasure within. We no longer expect anything because we have become what we were searching for. Conclusion: the unity of energy and consciousness. The highest realm is not a future destination, but the culmination of profound moments of awakening in the present, where energy and consciousness merge as one. When energy is mastered, we become light, graceful, and profound. When consciousness is alert, energy is properly directed and develops naturally. In this realm, nothing is foreign. Every emotion, thought, and action is an energy flow painting the picture of existence. We are no longer swept along or in resistance, but live at the center of the whirlwind, awake, free, and radiant. At that point, a person becomes a living symphony, where every note is a vibration of love, understanding, and creative power. And when we live this way, the world is no longer a burden to bear, but a stage where our inner light can shine brightly. Thank you for watching this video until the end. The highest realm of humanity, where energy, quantum entanglement, and the universe merge, will surely make each of us reflect on the profound connection between ourselves and the universe around us. So, what do you think about these concepts? Please leave your thoughts and join the discussion with us in the comments below. Together, we will illuminate these mysteries. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to subscribe to the Forbidden Knowledge channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on the upcoming fascinating and profound videos. See you in the next videos. Wishing you always stay awake and explore the wonders of the universe.